In fact, let's start talking about Ryback right now. I started recording. So what's up, wrestling fans? It's Joe Cronin. I'm here with Jake. We're just talking wrestling today. There's a bunch of news out there. There's some things going on. I want to talk about... the first thing I want to talk about, believe it or not, is Ryback, just because me and Jake were just talking about Ryback. So we're just going to continue our conversation. So no, you know, we basically talked about... You talked about how he got offered a $1.5 million deal, supposedly, and he did not accept it. And I said that's crazy, because I would just do it for 3 years, and I'd just take the money for 3 years, and who cares how they book? I don't give a shit what they do. Book me to eat shit. I don't care.
Exactly. Well, that's what I was saying. Cover me in, pig shit and have me drink horse urine on stage. I'm fine with that, because with the revenue, added to it, with all the sales and things like that, it was speculated that he'd make $1.2 million a year. And like you said, bank that and at least leave on semi-decent terms so that people want you. His stock is so low at this point. He wasn't doing anything. He had no appeal to the indie scene. At least when Del Rio left, he was the U.S. champion. Not long before that, he did the things with, Rusev and Cesaro or Sheamus, that whole mix up there. And I forget what they're...
Baby faces who, what am I trying to say? Baby faces who are... people think should have had a bigger chance or should have had a bigger push are so far over with the indie people, with the indie crowd, so that works for them. But guys who most people saw as, pushed by the company because of some kind of Goldberg-like-esque gimmick aren't going to get over as well. He should have known that, even though he did. There is a part of everybody that believes he kind of was screwed, but kind of nobody cares. You know what I mean? Like, it's sort of like, Goldberg kind of gets screwed. Seems like a decent guy, but nobody cares. They still crap on him. He's like the kid at school. You make fun of him, and then he reacts, so you just keep making fun of him. And the kid keeps getting made fun of because he doesn't understand. Stop reacting to this crap, and they'll go away. But he doesn't do that.
There's that, and the fact that he did have a decent push at one point in time facing CM Punk, and a lot of people said he was difficult to work with. Not only was he stiff in the ring, and then we had the rumors about him injuring CM Punk and breaking his ribs, and Punk calling him a big dumbass. All that stuff came to light. But there was also reports from other people. John Cena had said something backstage about Ryback being, a stiff shooter, and a few others have also said this too. I remember Al Snow came out with a report because he had worked with him on the Tough Enough scene and said that, that was one of the things they were concerned about, with him being basically throwing potato shots at the other wrestlers inadvertently. So They questioned his safety.
Yeah, that's definitely been brought up a lot. Yeah, and it's almost like, and I don't know if the CM Punk thing, and he takes it very, he gets really upset about this whenever anybody talks anything bad about him. He has a very protective ego sort of thing. Like, even if you were to criticize him for anything, it almost seems like he jumps on, like, absolutely, I did not do that. I mean, maybe some people are piling on him. It sounds like some people are piling on him and giving him crap just because he gets crap. But I think that he also goes too far the other way with his defensive. We'll never know because he won't come on this show, and that's fine. He actually did a very smart thing. He created his own podcast so that he could just do all this stuff himself, which is actually one of the smarter things he's done. He actually seems like a nice guy, to be honest. I just think he's a little, he's a little paranoid about things.
Yeah, Ryan has always been said to be a big teddy bear, like in terms of behind the scenes, but he created issues for himself, as told by other wrestlers. I mean, most of it's speculation, but there are a few noted points where he had, injuries in matches, and I mean, we've seen a few stiff shots. The reason I started talking about Ryback to you, though, was because TNA made no offer to him, but they did offer Alberto Del Rio $400,000 a year for minimal dates. They offered Luke Gallows $200,000 a year prior to the club signing with WWE. And my original point for bringing all this up is because PW Insider reported that Matt and Jeff Hardy have yet to sign new deals with TNA, and their contracts expire in 13 days, I believe it is. So that's still up in the air, and people are, clamoring to see them back in the WWE. Right now, they have multiple revenue streams, the Hardys, that is, outside of TNA.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they have their own shop, and then they have Pro Wrestling Tees. So it's not like they're hurting for revenue there. but they said that there's a good opportunity for them to make money, because if you look at people like Enzo Amore and Big Cass, they have 48 items for sale at Shop WWE, and the New Day have 52, you know, and right now Matt has 12 items and Jeff has a whopping 70 items for sale in the TNA and the Pro Wrestling Tees shops. So to bring that over to WWE Shop, they have a chance to make mucho money. So there's a lot of speculation that they're, going to be making some money if they come to WWE.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know anything about the numbers. It would be a total guess to me. But if Ryback was set to possibly make, $300,000 a year extra on revenue for him is from clothing and products and things like that. I mean, you got to believe if the Hardys are allowed to continue with this gimmick in the WWE, if they're able to do the Meek Man Delete, like if they're able to do this stuff in the WWE, I got to believe that's an extra $1 to $3 million a year for them.
Easy. I mean, if they're doing this on a minor scale now, I look at TNA as like 1/10 the sales and figures of WWE usually. So if they're making $600,000 in sales and revenue, they'd be making $6 million. I don't know if it'd be that much, but like you said, it's just everything on a grand scale. I had something on numbers here somewhere that I'm trying to find, but they reportedly, Impact Wrestling and TNA, if they want to retain our services, they said it will cost these Anthem men many, many dollars, and it's going to cost them a percentage of the company because I have to steer the ship. I have to drive. If they do not meet my demands, then I guess that is my possibility. But I would only go to McMahon if he knew what the deal was. And that's what Matt said in late 2016 when he was on the Ross Report. And it also says that, with the Anthem signing, that they have yet to receive a bonus as promised. So I think that could also be a driving factor in them leaving TNA.
Yeah, I mean, I think they, and to be honest, I think they left TNA with a pretty big gift. I feel like they, if they were to leave, I feel like they've put a lot more eyes on the product. And I think right now, a lot of the people that were loving the Hardy thing have tuned out anyway, just because of the terrible news and stuff like that. I mean, there's still hardcore TNA fans. I mean, I'm still watching it. I love it. I still love it. It's still a variety show. It's still better than, what Raw's doing. If anybody makes fun of TNA or doesn't like TNA or whatever the case is, you really have to question yourself if you watch Raw but don't watch TNA, because again, TNA usually pulls, but in my opinion, a rating of a 6 to an 8, and at least a 5 to an 8. It's usually a score of usually a rating of like 6, 7 is what I've been giving it. And if you're watching Raw, I mean, Raw's been doing a 5, 4, or 3 in my opinion. So
this week I gave Raw 2. So yeah,
I gave it a 3, but it's just because some of it was good. Someone said the second half was good, the first half was bad. I disagree. I feel the first half was almost all terrible except for a couple little parts, and I felt the second half was good, but half of it was still bad. So you're looking at about a 40 minutes of Raw that was good. Like 40 minutes of Raw that was good, but the stuff that was bad was unbelievably bad. Like it was just devastatingly atrocious, if I could say that.
That's the word I was going to use. Absolutely atrocious. And, you bring this up as a perfect segue to something we wanted to talk about. Mick Foley was on Lillian Garcia's Making Their Way to the Ring podcast, and he was talking about a bunch of things. He brought up talking about how the third hour of Raw is really a hindrance. The exact quote here is that even though SmackDown has kind of been like the internet darling as of late, I believe that if they had 3 hours instead of 2, they would find out that it's tough to be a darling when you've got that massive 3-hour anchor around your neck. It's really difficult. It makes it tough for people to watch an entire show, especially when you realize that a good portion of the audience is going to bed before the end of the show. He goes on saying, sometimes we try and look into the reasons why the third hour doesn't perform as well, and Mick thinks it's because people go to bed. He said their audience is a lot of children, and another issue is that no one else at 10:30 is a PG program. They're the only ones, fighting that fight. He said, I wouldn't say that across the board, but most other programs aren't trying to compete within the PG confines. And he said, I love, for example, Full Frontal. I love her show with CMB, and they're allowed to curse on that show, and that's on basic cable. We don't curse. We can't even say ASS anymore unless you're The Rock or Steve Austin returning.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely disagree with him. I agree with him about all the points he made about how tough it is to do PG for 3 hours. That's at that time of night. That is true. But it's worse than that, Foley. You know what I mean? Mick, if you're listening, you're not, but it's worse than that. The worst thing is they can't really write an hour of good show. That's the problem. Fuck your 3 hours. You can't write 1 hour of good stuff. Here's what you do.
Exactly.
And you can go pick through any Raw you want, and pretty much they're all bad. I mean, look at last week's show. So I think the Jericho Kevin Owens thing was entertaining. I was entertained by that. It started cheesy, and you're like, this is so dumb, and then it got real, and I thought that was great. The segment was like 15 or 18 minutes long, I think. So there you go. I'll give you 20 minutes. 20 minutes, solid, great. Then what else? You have to remind me about the other good part. All right, Samoa Joe's 5-minute interview. So that now you're talking 25 minutes. I like that.
And the end of Sami Zayn's match where Samoa Joe came out, that was about another 5 minutes.
I enjoyed Sami Zayn's promo as well. I'll give you 5 minutes there. Then the first cruiserweight match, I don't remember, it sucked. The next cruiserweight match was great. Who's the guy? The Asian guy. He's great. Tozawa.
Yeah. Yep.
Tozawa's match was awesome. It was like 3 minutes long. So that match was awesome. So now we're up to 28 minutes.
Well, we got 20 for the first promo, 5 for Sammy's promo, 5 for Samoa Joe's, so that's 30. We got 3 for the Cruiserweight, so we got 33, and we got another 5 for Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn at the end. So we got 38, almost 40 minutes.
Okay. And
graciously.
And now we get to the... Okay, so maybe they proved me wrong last week.
And then you got the main event, which is about 20 minutes.
Good.
There's 1 hour.
So you did 1 hour. You did 1 hour Raw. But, so...
It's so broken up and few and far between that it's hard to keep your interest.
Yeah, so you had an hour of interesting stuff over the course of... So you had another hour of boring. You had 1 hour of terrible, and I mean terrible. So you had 2 hours of terrible. And 1 hour of greatness. But usually, Jake, Raw, if you add it up, it's always like 28 minutes of good stuff. And so that's even worse. That's why it sucks. Usually. So I will give you an hour last week. But that's it. But SmackDown, for the most part, like, the thing about SmackDown is, like, it almost rides that safe line. Like, it doesn't, like... It rides that line of being sort of safe, like average, like good average, like a slightly at the top of average. It doesn't go above average, and it doesn't go below average. It just stays at like, it's almost like my life. I've always performed like high average, but never can quite break through the glass. And at the same time, I don't usually sink to the bottom either. In everything I do, almost, it's weird. But that's what SmackDown has been doing. So it's been good. You give it a 7 every week almost. But some of the segments on Raw sometimes are better. Oh, Gilbert was there too, so that was a minute of gold.
But that was also, we included that in the Kevin Owens 20 minutes,
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, that's right. But Gilbert was great. That was good.
But the problem with Gilbert is that they said, you're going to get it, and then they went right to a commercial. Then they came back to show Gilbert. So they kind of like killed it for me.
No, I take it back. I disagree with you 100%. Jericho goes, you're going to get... And then the whole crowd was like, it, and then it went to commercial. They came back from commercial. Jericho goes, it's! Like, that was hilarious. I actually disagree. I thought that was great.
Yeah, see, I didn't care for the way they did that. I felt like it instead of building anticipation, it just made me kind of,
at first I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, they went to commercial right as he was saying that, and then they came back and he's still in the same position. And I was like, this is so stupid. But then Jericho goes... It's like, and it was a joke, like it was a big goof. It was a goof,
yeah, like he waited 3.5 minutes to say it.
Let's go to commercial. I'll pause in the ring. We won't do anything. We'll come back from commercial. And I'll say it. Like, I think that to me is hilarious. I think that was actually. At first, I was criticizing it like you. I was saying it out loud. I was like, man, this is dumb. I was like, how dumb and lame is this? And then when because Jericho is frozen still, and when he goes. It's like I just died laughing, man. I got to give it to Jericho for that.
In hindsight, I appreciate the attempt at humor there. I mean, yeah, it is funny
it got
now,
me.
but I was so frustrated at that point that I couldn't enjoy it. That was my problem. Like, I went back and I said on the YouTube video I uploaded, I enjoyed Samoa Joe's promo. I liked what he had to say, but I was so angry with seeing Roman defeat the tag champions and seeing such BS with the New Day and, like all the constant rigmarole and boring things that they gave us. that by the time Samoa Joe gives this great promo, I'm like, fucking kill me, just end this already. So it's not fair to, you know, some of the talent, but they waited so long to bring him out, and I know they're trying to spread everything out and spice it up, but there's so much bullshit in between everything that we're forced to eat a shit sandwich to get to the good homemade bread, you know?
They got you there. I know, I got what you're saying, and I was upset too. But they really did, because I was being so negative, and they pulled me out of it for that segment. And then especially when he went nuts and beat up Jericho, I actually didn't. I sort of saw that coming for a second, and then I was like, no, they're not doing that right now. And then they did it, and they actually got me. And when they did the barbershop window Shawn Michaels thing, kind of.
Yeah. See, I had called that, and then Bayley winning earlier before Raw went on the air.
Yeah, you really did call everything. I just didn't want it to be real. I was like, no, this can't be happening.
I just wish they didn't break them up yet. I feel like it would have served better storyline-wise after Fastlane. But like I said, I went back, I rewatched it. I was less pissed, a little more open-minded, and I did enjoy the segment a bit more. And they did build up to the breakup nicely there. It was heart-wrenching to see Jericho's face go from this huge smile, and, you know, it felt like the Rock and Sock, this is your life moment with a terrible twist ending. And then they did do it well. Both of them performed greatly, sending Jericho to the hospital. It looked brutal. It looked, you know, horrendous. That beatdown was so just tragic because they were such good friends, but I get the point why. I just wish they didn't do it yet. I feel like they pulled the trigger a bit too soon.
I actually was very close to thinking like, wow, this got dark, but they didn't quite get there. I would have really enjoyed, and I know they can't do this stuff now, and I know it almost seems like I'm always calling for this brutality, but I really would have enjoyed if Jericho had been bleeding everywhere.
Sex and violence sells, and that's
because
it was almost needed in that segment.
It almost was.
His head when he slammed him through the TV type thing they had in the middle.
Because they're so comical and stuff, and it still was kind of comic. It was still kind of comical in a way. But if they had made it like Jericho's bleeding everywhere and stuff, that would have been like, oh my god, like this is really like, it would have been really dark and it would have been really good. I think the segment itself was like an 8 out of 10. But had he bled and things gone a little differently, like I could have given that a 10 out of 10. But either way, it was still one of the best moments of Raw, and the rest of Raw was pretty terrible. But there you go. I mean, I don't know.
But Mick is right, though. I mean, if you look, I'll give him that much. You know, that third hour kills everything. And I know when they had that, that network special with Rosenberg and, you know, Paul Heyman and JBL talking about, they need the ad revenue. And I get that. I understand that. But there's got to be a better way to do things then, because it drags everything down. And it makes, like in movies, when you watch a movie, there's a thing with editing called internal structural time, and it's the pacing, basically. It's how everything flows together. Everything is so disjointed on Raw that even when SmackDown segments aren't great, it flows so smoothly and everything transitions so well that it's more enjoyable. Nothing that's bad stays in your palate for long. You always got something new to taste and try. If you don't like the first course, the second course is going to wow you. Even if you don't care for the first and second course, well, guess what? Dessert's coming.
Yeah, but
it moves along quickly.
But with Raw, it's all over the place. It's like here's another thing, there's another thing. Now it's cruiserweights, now it's this, now it's that. And it's just what the fuck is going on here?
Exactly. It feels like they're a bit ADD and autistic at the same time. And to back up my point, I mean, look at everything they did with Emina that you just reported on. The poor girl, they had a chance for 17 weeks to try her out and test her. They tested it at house shows. They had her backstage, rehearsing these promos, and they didn't like her execution and delivery.
I didn't like hers when she came out there. How is it? Tell me how they didn't see this in the back this whole time, yet I see her for 2 seconds, and I go, this doesn't work. I was thinking it before just as she came out there, I go, man, this doesn't sound good. Like, this isn't good. Like,
it wasn't believable one bit. She didn't feel like she was that Sable role they were looking for. She didn't seem confident in being hot as hell and a sex symbol like they wanted. And that's a huge problem. How could they, for 17 weeks, we knew as soon as they tried to change her into Emina that it wasn't going to work. Just from a fan's perspective, we said, she doesn't fit that role. She's great in the badass sunglass wearing bitch faced, going to tear you down role. She's she's been in. She's not going to work as a sex symbol, as a feisty model. That's just, it doesn't fit for her. And they couldn't figure this out for 17 weeks in the back. That says a lot. That shows why Raw is tanking right now.
Right. And, yeah, I mean, you got to be clueless. I mean, I've seen her do a lot of different things. I mean, I was actually surprised when she flipped into a heel. I mean, I was like, wow, she did that well. But what she says is, like, she kind of speaks the same way that she normally does. Like, oh, like, da, 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 da. Like, and that's her capability, it seems like. I mean, that's just, I mean, I get their point. They are correct. She isn't talented enough to go all these different places, apparently. That's true. But what she was doing was working, so it didn't make any sense. It would be like if The Rock went from that blue chip character to the Rock we know, and then they decided, well, Rocky, even though you're over with this, we're going to make you into the Samoan
cheerleader.
Yeah, or the Samoan crusher. Yeah, or you're going to be a supermodel, Rock. We're going to turn you into a supermodel who just likes to smile. You'll be like the new narcissist Lex Luger. And they
turn him into a
pivoted.
Fandango.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, no. What are you doing? Leave this guy the way he is. It's so stupid. It's like, how do we know this and they don't know? I mean, like, what is going on there? But the next thing I wanted to talk about is, at this point, I'm going to title this State of the WWE, by the way, because I think it will do better. And I think we're really kind of doing that, to be honest.
We're kind of going through everything. If that's the case, I got more to bring up after you.
All right, well, I wanted to talk about Vader. I want everybody to do their best to tweet at Vader, tweet at the WWE, tweet everywhere. Put Vader in the Hall of Fame. If you guys can do that, I mean, in droves. This guy, this might be his last chance. I mean, you may not like him. He may have been like a little bit of a dink sometimes, but nobody can do a moonsault like that. That moonsault needs to go in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a tragedy. I don't want to see him, go through anything like this. We knew that about 5-6 months ago that he didn't have long left to live, and I sent you the tweet that he put out yesterday evening. Actually, he said, as I enter my final days, I'm proud of the father, son, brother, football player, pro wrestler, the super heavy big man, greatest of all time. I'm grateful for the time. So basically saying, he was proud of all he accomplished.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to see him go in. He should be proud of what he did. And he was real nice to me when I met him. I remember we had all those funny Twitter exchanges. I couldn't get him on the show. Like, I kept tweeting him to be like, hey, come on the show. And he'd be like, send me your number. And I sent him the show number, and he wouldn't call it. Then he was like, send me your phone number. And I'm like, I'm not going to send my cell phone number over Twitter. And,
yeah, exactly. He quite didn't seem to understand Twitter. But like you said, it'd be a shame to see him have to be entered into the Hall of Fame posthumously or homously, however you say it. I don't want to see him pass away and then they have to honor him, similar to China or, wrestlers of the like. He served his time. He even came back at, previously to Raw 1000. I saw him in person in Hartford.
Well, he was at the Hall of Fame last year too, right? Was it last year?
Yeah.
Or was it 2 years ago? Maybe it was 2 years ago.
I think it was 2 years ago, actually. But I got to see him take out Heath Slater right before they had the Raw 1000 episode in person. That was fantastic. The crowd exploded when you ever heard, it's time, it's Vader time. It was a great moment. And, the people were behind him. Then we saw him come back on the Raw 1000 episode. And I think we saw him once again after that. It was like a retro Raw episode. And then the Hall of Fame, obviously. But he needs to be put in. I mean, it just has to happen. I don't know why they can't just get their heads together, make a corporate decision, and put him in. You already got Rock and Roll Express, Kurt Angle, Teddy Long. That's it so far. That's not really a huge...
Well, you could just... and if you do it... By the way, Rock and Roll Express, I got to believe they're calling up Jim Cornette. And if they call up Jim Cornette to do it, well, now we can put Vader in, too, because he was both their managers.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if they get along, actually, but... I know Vader, I know Leon, everyone, whenever you mention Vader to some wrestlers, they just go, oh, yeah, Leon, it's funny, like, so I know that he kind of has heat with some people. It's more like friendly heat, I feel like, but...
he rubs some people the wrong way, but he's also been in the business so long, it's hard not to.
Well, yeah, but I got to call his match at Summer Showdown last year, and he was funny. He almost killed the fan, actually, but he definitely was showing some off signs, but he was also very nice, and he knew the show, and he wanted to come on, and we still didn't hook that up. But I just want to make sure that everybody goes out there and tweets as much as they can, like maniacs, to put this guy in the Hall of Fame. Please, let's get that trending for this guy before he dies and doesn't make it in the Hall of Fame after his whole entire career, given his body. That's all I wanted to cover on Vader. I just wanted to bring it up. And quick commercial break here. We'll be right back. What's up, wrestling fans? Thanks to WWE and WWEshop.com, you can use my affiliate links down here to save. Just go to Show More right here, and it will pop up this description box. And you guys can click on my WWE affiliate links, the WWE Championship Watch, WWE 2K17, or even Gamefly. Thanks to Gamefly. If you want to click on those, sign up, or purchase items, I will get credit. So let's say you want the WWE Watch. You just click the link for the WWE Watch. It will take you right to the source and the best price available. Of course, there is the WWE Watch in all its glory. Everyone's loving this thing. It looks beautiful. And you can simply just add it to your cart and buy it right there on the website. You're on the official WWE Shop website at that point. And use my affiliate link. And there you go. That's how you do it, guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. You want to go buy the products, go check them out. Oh, and one more thing. If you guys DM me on Twitter at Joe Cronin JCS, let me know how much you're going to be buying all this stuff for in your shopping bag. I can send you an extra bonus coupon code, perhaps, that could save you when you purchase as well. So check it out. Also in the links down below is this Royal Rumble Special Edition jersey sweatshirt, or sweater rather. It's not even a sweater, it's a t-shirt, basketball type jersey. Go check it out, guys. These are almost gone. They are a collector's item. Check out the link down below. Okay, all right, so we're back. Jake, I do want to talk about Randy refusing WrestleMania.
Yeah, what a amazing turn of events. I really liked this last night. I actually just showed it to my daughter before we started this episode because she's been following it back and forth, and I was like, wow, even she got behind it. She's like, well, I no longer like Randy Orton at all. She wasn't happy with him being in the Wyatt family to begin with, but seeing him bow before Bray really set her off. She's like, he's not going to fight for the title, and just to see her get that into it again really shows that how far they've come with this storyline. They've been plotting and planning this properly since, before Hell in a Cell. We're going on 6 months now, since SummerSlam, really.
Right.
Everything that happened with Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton from there, you see Bray get involved, and it's just been a wonderful story to tell. And now we're going to have this battle royal because Randy Orton does not want to face the Master. I'm trying to remember his exact quote, but he said, so long as you're the master and I'm the peasant, I think he said.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I refuse to face you at Mania. And he bowed down, and that's when Bray said, well, you now, my son, have the keys to the kingdom. And I thought it was just perfect. It really just set the tone.
I can just see, I thought maybe even last night he was going to jump up and RKO him out of nowhere. And I feel like I thought that's what's really going to happen. Is that Randy Orton?
I thought so too, because he went down to kneel and he got down on almost one knee, and you saw him kind of lean. I'm like, oh, he's going to hit him with an RKO right now. And then he didn't. He went down to the other knee, and I was like, oh, wow. It really, but to see him refuse to be the number one contender is just unprecedented, basically. Nothing that we've seen before, at least not in a really long time. And where do we go from here?
I don't get what they're going to do, because it's like, well, then I started thinking somebody will win this Battle Royal, and then Randy will actually not refuse to wrestle him. But then wouldn't they just say, well, no, we had the Battle Royal, you gave up your spot?
Well, we still have 6 weeks, 6 more episodes, I believe, 5 or 6, until WrestleMania. So there's a lot of time for them to fill. I mean, that's basically enough to have a pay-per-view and WrestleMania, so they already got Elimination Chamber out of the way. So at least now this will give us a chance to, what I think they're going to do. They're going to have the Battle Royal to determine who's going to face Wyatt in Orlando. So I think that either Luke Harper is going to win or AJ Styles. And then I think Bray and Orton are going to split apart. Orton will face whoever won the Battle Royal, and then we'll go from there to see them still face each other one-on-one at Mania. But it's just a way to further the story for the next 6 weeks.
Wait a minute. Back up a second. So wait a minute. You think that Orton is going to wrestle at Wyatt at WrestleMania then after all that?
Yes, I still think it's going to happen.
But whoever wins the Battle Royal, you think they won't matter then?
I don't think it's going to matter. I think it's just going to be used as a story element. So let's say Luke Harper wins the Battle Royal, and that's what I think is going to happen, and a lot of people online.
Right.
I think that's going to set off Randy Orton saying, well, you're part of the family. You were supposed to be, one to follow our master, and you don't deserve it. And I think they'll face each other, and the winner will go on to still face Wyatt. But in the meantime, there's going to be some dissension among the Wyatt family.
Yeah, but that to me, they're going to, then they have to face each other to see who wrestles them, and then Orton's going to face him anyway. I just feel like it seems so weird to me that they would.
It does, but I feel like it's just a huge stall tactic.
Yeah,
but they're really trying to show that Orton's, fully behind Wyatt at this point.
I just think that it's almost a paint yourself in a corner type of situation to me.
It is very odd, I'll give you that much, but I like the way it was done last night. I don't quite know where they're going to go from here, and I think that's why I'm so intrigued. This isn't one of those things that I can guess and fantasy book to my heart's content, but until next week, we really don't know who's going to win, who's even going to be in the Battle Royal. We have a vague idea, but nothing's set in stone yet.
I thought Randy would be like, Luke Harper was going to win this thing, and then Randy was going to end up saying, well, I won the Rumble, I want to be in the match, and then technically you have to give me the match, and then all of a sudden it would, which is ridiculous, but then I would say that it would turn into a triple threat match.
Yeah, I don't want to see a triple threat, but
I don't either. I actually kind of think the whole thing's dumb at this point, if that's what they do, and if Randy really doesn't wrestle him, but he won the Rumble, it's so weird to me, and I don't like it. Then I really would have. I really prefer the whole Randy Orton says I'm not wrestling you at WrestleMania. They're doing a battle royal maybe, but then somehow they have to get out of the battle royal though. Somebody can't.
The key words last night, and I looked up the exact quote. He said, "I won the Royal Rumble and all the privileges that come with it, but you are the champion. However." And that's the big key word there. As long as you are the master and I am the servant, I refuse to face you at WrestleMania. I pledge my undying allegiance to you, Bray. Key word there being, however, so as long as you are the master and I am the servant, well, I think they're going to do something to flip that, where Bray is no longer the master and, Randy either gets Luke to follow him and becomes the new, head of the Wyatt family. That's something interesting that they can go with.
I just really believe that this was a big sucker job by Orton the whole time, and he ends up, RKOing Bray.
He could,
but none of it makes any sense. The only thing that makes sense to me is if he was under some kind of spell from Bray Wyatt or something. But they've never played on that, other than that quick face thing they did with him when he first became a Wyatt member. So to me, it's just almost, unless that's explained, or when he RKOs him and says that. He suckered them in this whole time. Either, and he didn't know Bray Wyatt was going to be the champion, or that he was going to win the Rumble. So none of this, honestly, none of that makes sense. None of this makes kind of sense. That's what's making me upset.
Well, see, the way I'm perceiving it is that because of the turn of events, with him winning the Rumble, and then with Bray, he didn't know Bray was going to win the title. So once Bray won the title, the gears started to change in Randy's mind. And he realized, oh shit, I can't face you because you are the master and I'm still serving underneath you. But Bray also said you have the keys to the kingdom. So maybe Bray is going to convince him to face him. Or, there's so many possibilities. But it's hard for me to believe that Road Dogg and people on SmackDown don't have some idea where they're going, because they've invested so much time and a lot of resources on this angle. They've put in a lot, like I started off to say, for going on 6 months since around SummerSlam with this. And, people have really gotten behind it. Everyone's excited that Bray's finally the champion. Orton backstage said he'd do anything he could to put Bray over. So, like we said, it's kind of painting them and pushing them into a corner, but I think that they have a plan that we've yet to see come to fruition. And even though it's hard for us to fathom, I'm kind of trusting Road Dogg and everything they've done on SmackDown to make this enjoyable. I'm kind of, the blind faith is coming out a little bit more, and I just want to see where they're going with it.
My only worry would be that, that other powers in the company, because when you talk about WrestleMania and main events, the WWE Championship, there are other people that could start dipping their hands in, you know what I mean?
That is true, and that does worry me, but I still want to remain hopeful that the people on the SmackDown side of things can remain in control of everything that they've created, because that creative control is all important. I mean, it could go to hell in a handbasket quickly, too. Like you said, you paint yourself in a corner and then they can't talk their way out of it. And it becomes a big waste of time. I mean, like you said, if it was Raw or anything else, I'd be like, oh, this is stupid. And that's sad to admit that, but it's the truth. You know, the writing is different on both brands. So I think they have a plan intended for this to come out. My way of booking it, like I said, is I picture either, you know, AJ or Luke winning, and then they can, if the Luke wins, they go ahead and say, oh, well, you know, you were a part of the Wyatt family. I would, you know, if I can't face him, what says that you can face him? And then they face each other, and Randy still gets to face him. Like, you know, it sounds odd, but if they play their cards right, it could be interesting. So,
yeah. Yeah,
like you said, this could go to shit really quickly.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, I mean, we're all gonna find out at this Rumble, you know, on next week, I guess. The good thing about it is the crazy thing is how intrigued we are. Are you intrigued for anything really on Raw next week? Do you even know? Do we even know what we're like? What are we going to see?
No, we're going to see a celebration for Bayley winning the title, and it'll be her last week as champion before, you know, Charlotte wins it back at Fastlane. You know, they're going to explain some of the stuff behind Kevin Owens' motivations for attacking Jericho, and I believe Goldberg is supposed to be there next week as well to build up with his title match at Fastlane. Besides that, there's nothing, you know.
Well, there you go. I mean, but on SmackDown, it's like we know, like there's a ton of things. Like are Nikki Bella versus Natalya going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match? Holy shit, what's going to happen in that match? Will somebody get friggin' hurt? You know, this Battle Royal. I mean, what's going to happen with the Battle Royal?
Where does even John Cena go from here?
Yeah, what's going to happen with John Cena's story going forward to WrestleMania?
Exactly. What about Naomi? Is she, you know, she was talking about WrestleMania being the champion and going till then. Is something going to happen? Will Alexa get her rematch before then? Will somebody else get the challenge for the title? Mickie James just got her win back over Becky Lynch. So are we going to see these two, you know, face each other in some type of like cage match or different scenario? What's going on with the Usos in the back? You know, there's a lot that needs to be explained and leaves us excited and gives us things to look forward to. I mean, they did bury the Ascension into the oblivion, so they're done for, but...
Yeah. I mean, dude, so much stuff. I mean, Connor from OKFabe has been doing a great job of covering this. I know he's at work right now. Would have loved to have him here with us, but he'll return this Sunday for my next show. But it's bizarre. But that's the difference in both the shows. I mean, what are you excited for in Raw? Goldberg's going to be there. Oh! Like, I mean, that's what they do. They go, the outside guy has to come in to save the ratings because everything else isn't that good. And yet on SmackDown, it's like there's all these storylines and stuff going on. And that's what keeps you wanting to watch every week. You can talk about SmackDown almost like fucking Game of Thrones, where on Raw, you can't really. You can talk about Raw kind of like, that happened, I guess. Like, you know, it's just so funny how, like, the differences between the shows.
Well, you look at SmackDown, too, and if you consider, I mean, legends in the sense, all right, even if you want to say, like, older talent, per se, it's hard to consider AJ not a legend, but in this sense, he's only been in the company a year, you know, so we consider him still somewhat a new talent. Bray's been there a few years, but he's still, you know, on the younger side of things. And any of the legends that have been on SmackDown have been enhancement talent. They've been used to build the new stars up. I mean, Cena did a great job with AJ, made AJ feel like a true champion. Randy's been doing everything in his power to make Bray feel a lot more legitimate. You know, Mickie James lost her pay-per-view match, you know, things like it just... You go over to Raw and you get, you know, Goldberg destroying people in a minute and some odd seconds, and you know they use the legends, like you said, as a band-aid for a bullet wound. They're just doing it to spike the ratings.
Well, it looks like
at the expense of the talent.
There's some news out there on some things. The first thing, I saw this earlier and I actually forgot about it, and now I want to bring it up again. WWE is releasing an official book of rules. Have you seen it? I
saw that.
What the hell does that mean?
I don't know. It's up on WWE Shop, but I didn't even hear about it till I saw somebody on Twitter. It's the WWE Book of Rules and How to Break Them.
Oh, here it is.
They have it on Amazon, and it said, "Do you know the difference between a Hollywood backlot brawl and a Brooklyn street fight? You know, what happens at the end of an Iron Man match if there's no clear victor? What move is off limits inside a WWE ring? With the official book of rules, you'll no longer need to ask. The complete guide to every single style of WWE match, stipulation, or otherwise. So, I mean, it's got everything. And it's the ultimate companion to anyone who believes rules are made to be broken. But the funny part is, you know...
They don't even know what the rules are.
Exactly. They've broken their own rules countless times, so that's bullshit anyways.
This says more than 200 pages of rules, drawings, and diagrams.
With a forward by Daniel Bryan as well. So.
Unbelievably funny. Like, this is really interesting. I mean, honestly, I might get this.
It looks very interesting. It's something that, I mean, it's $10 and change
I think this
Amazon.
This is going to sell really well for them because so many people have said on Twitter and on the comments below the news reports, like, I actually want to get this. Like, people are saying, I actually want to get this. So when you hear that, you know that that's a person that doesn't really buy a lot of books, or especially WWE books, perhaps. And I just, to me, it seems like so many people are, like, interested by this. And you know, what's funny is you could make a YouTube channel on this book. You could literally make a YouTube channel called, you know, WWE The Rules, you know, and you could just make a video on all the rules. In fact, I may make a video a week on a rule, and you can just, the reference is the fucking book. It's unbelievable.
Exactly. That would be fantastic. I was wrong. The book doesn't come out until February 28th, so this is all pre-orders, but it's going for $11 on Amazon for paperback.
Oh, God. I mean, I'm getting this thing.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
And you can actually bundle it with the WrestleMania poster collection and the WWE Encyclopedia of Sports for $40. So, I mean, the price is worth it. Like I said, there's hundreds of match listings. It definitely seems interesting. And
yeah. I may have a code for everybody, too, so stay tuned for that. You know, I've got a deal with WWE Shop, so hopefully I'll have a code, and will be a link for you to use so you guys can get it. And I'll get credit for your sales, too. So then you'll help me, you'll get it, we'll save some money. We'll work around. Everybody will get a rub on the back. So What's up, wrestling fans? Thanks to WWE and WWEshop.com, you can use my affiliate links down here to save. Just go to Show More right here, and it will pop up this description box, and you guys can click on my WWE affiliate links, the WWE Championship Watch, WWE 2K17, or even Gamefly. Thanks to Gamefly. If you want to click on those, sign up, or purchase items, I will get credit. So let's say you want the WWE Watch. You just click the link for the WWE Watch. It will take you right to the source and the best price available. Of course, there is the WWE Watch in all its glory. Everyone's loving this thing. It looks beautiful. And you can simply just add it to your cart and buy it right there on the website. You're on the official WWE Shop website at that point. And use my affiliate link. And there you go. That's how you do it, guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. You want to go buy the products, go check them out. Oh, and one more thing. If you guys DM me on Twitter at Joe Cronin JCS, let me know how much you're going to be buying all this stuff for in your shopping bag. I can send you an extra bonus coupon code, perhaps, that could save you when you purchase as well. So check it out. Also in the links down below is this Royal Rumble Special Edition jersey sweatshirt, or sweater rather. It's not even a sweater, it's a t-shirt, basketball type jersey. Go check it out, guys. These are almost gone. They are a collector's item. Check out the link down below. Try to get into that and see what I can do. But
another thing I wanted to bring up today is, you know, UFC got bought out. I forget the name of the company that purchased them.
Oh yeah, like what, 6 months ago? Yeah,
well, everything finally went through. It's basically for $4 billion. WWE or WME IMG. It's like a whole different company entirely. They sell to the WME IMG group for $4 billion. Dana White still has, you know, X amount of stock in the company, but any event, they came in and they just started clearing house. They got rid of a bunch of UFC talent, and one of the people on the list was Brock Lesnar. And I started chuckling because, you know, he failed his drug test following his last, you know, what was it, UFC 200 pay-per-view fight.
Yeah.
And then they originally didn't fine him or suspend him. Well, this company comes in, he gets suspended for a year, and now, after he gets basically fired by UFC through this company that took over the management, Brock Lesnar informs UFC of his retirement from MMA. Wow. And now he's removed from the drug testing pool as well.
How weird is that? It almost seems like the company, it almost feels like UFC could end up being no fun anymore. You know, Dana, you know, White was kind of a rogue like a mogul almost, and now it almost seems like they're owned by the corporate side of the world, and that's obviously this, who knows, I'm just making early assumptions based on these actions. A lot of people say they're overdue, actually, but the idea that Dana White could kind of do whatever he wanted, that's sort of out the window now, and I don't know, almost makes it feel like maybe they'll get more boring.
Yeah, I mean, now he's got a list of board of directors to answer to, and it's
all they need to do next is kick him out, and it's a Steve Jobs Apple situation. They'll be back in 6 years to save the company.
Yeah, but now they're saying that Brock Lesnar's legacy in MMA is teetering on the line between fact and fiction because of, when he basically has an asterisk, next to everything in his record book. Oh, well, whether it be the diverticulitis or failing to pass drug tests or injuries, it's unfortunate, but I just enjoy the fact that he went ahead and he basically is told that he's going to be fired from UFC. So then magically, before this gets out, I retire, just to cover his own ass.
Right.
But I was upset that Mark Hunt, didn't have the decision reversed at UFC 200 when they found out that Brock was using illegal substances to boost his performance. And, I felt like the fight should have been reversed if that's the case. I despise cheating, especially, when you're talking about a legitimate sport. So.
Yeah, especially when, as much as that other guy was like a dink, I mean, he literally said it, and then it actually came true. I mean, he didn't just, at first Peter got attacked for saying the steroids thing, but then it happened, and then he lost. I mean, he got his ass kicked.
Got beat, and it was, unfortunate, but then all the failed drug tests came to light. And what's even more troubling is that UFC management knew that he had failed the drug test before the fight even happened, but they gave Brock special treatment for the pay-per-view because, they had already lost John Jones at that point, and they needed that marquee star for that main event match.
Yeah, that thing would have gone to garbage if they didn't have him.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody came back. I mean, even the WWE was promoting it at that time, so...
Yeah, that would have been so ugly. It would have made everybody look bad. I mean,
even the WWE would have looked horrible because...
even I have to admit, I love playing fair and by the rules and stuff. And this is terrible because we've done this sort of thing with politics, too, where you're like, oh, just let them do it because politics, because I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican or whatever. And normally I don't like that. I like always playing fair, no matter what. But I can see, even as a fan, I'm greedy. Give me Brock Lesnar. I don't care. Give it to me. I'm not fucking watching this pay-per-view if he's not there after all this shit. So, I'm greedy. I almost say go through with it, but afterwards, people have to pay the penalty afterwards. So that's how I feel about it. It happened, whatever, let it go, and that's about it. Real quick, I just want to say, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at Joe Cronin Show. I'm sorry, at Joe Cronin JCS. My Joe Cronin Show is still suspended. I don't know what the fucking deal. I know what suspended forever. I mean, apparently, I don't know.
Indefinitely.
It just says suspended. It doesn't even say indefinitely, but I can't get back on it. So at Joe Cronin JCS. By the way, I also want to remind you that if you're listening and you're a hardcore fan, make sure that every once in a while you pop in joecroninshow.net. And remember, if anything ever happens to any of my channels or you can't get a hold of me, joecroninshow.net will have messages up there. You'll know how to find me and how to listen to me through joecroninshow.net. Also, I want to remind you, if you're a long-time listener and you are a patron or whatever, even if you're a new listener and you're a patron, there is a special Patreon video up. Only 8 views or something like that. So, I mean, that means people missed it. It's in your email, probably. It's up there for you to view only. So please go check out that exclusive content. We'll have more coming as well. Plus another podcast that I believe I'm working on, which we're going to monetize for a different situation or some kind of wrestling thing. I'm working on that. I'm trying to generate as much revenue as possible on my channel, obviously, now that this is full-time for me. So please stick around for that, too. And if you're a patron, you may get access to it for, at a certain point, too, as well. So if you do, it's important, and it would help if you became a patron. Go to patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. If you think I'm worth $1 a month, then please support with $1 a month. If you have like no money really and you can't really, whatever. Most people can afford $1 a month. So if you can do that, that would be awesome. Go help out. Throw $2 if you can. Some people are doing $40 a month. Thank you. You guys are crazy. I can't believe the support over there. We have now 42 patrons supporting me on Patreon.com, and hopefully that will grow. So go over there, and you'll get special individual messages from me. We can communicate over there through Messenger. When you send me a message, I directly get back to you. The second place to get a hold of me, the best place would be Twitter, though. If you have any business inquiries or things like that, Twitter is the best place. I'm open for interviews right now because I have time. If you want to book me on your show, or you have a show, or whatever the fuck, I'll come on your show. If you want to book advertising time, you can go to joecronenshow.net and click on the advertising spot. We'll play your commercial, your ad, your YouTube channel. We'll plug whatever you want to plug. You can, there's like different amounts, like $10 a month, and we'll plug you every week, or whatever. Just go on joecronenshow.net, go to advertising. You'll see the selections there under PayPal, and you can sign up. So all that stuff is available, whether you have a friend, a band, a product, a commercial, a YouTube, a Twitter, whatever the fuck you want to do. Go there, do it, check it out. I'm open to everything. And also make sure you subscribe. If you're one of these people that comes back but never subscribes, throw a subscribe. It helps me, but also it helps you get notified, hopefully, because YouTube's broken. So click the bell as well. And also just come back all the time and check anyway. Just come back to my channel all the time and look, because people are unsubscribed all the time. And they're like, holy shit, how did this happen? I was wondering why you hadn't uploaded in days, and it's just that they missed it. We'll have more wrestling guests on the show. We just had Drew Galloway from TNA Impact. Go watch that if you missed it. And if you have any questions you're not getting through to me, and it's really important, you can find Jake at Countdown Ended. And I've been telling him to make a YouTube. I don't know if you'll ever do that, but...
I uploaded once the other day.
Yeah, you said that earlier. That's what triggered me, actually. Yeah, so there you go. You got a video up there.
I had a bunch of people. I was going to try and stream on Valentine's Day and hang out with some people, but unfortunately my PC had a lot of issues, so I got on the craptastic loud laptop and recorded a video and threw it up for everybody as a Valentine's Day present. Just kind of my afterthoughts on Raw that some people had posted questions to my Twitter about. So, and if people like it, maybe I'll do a little afterthought video every now and again.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. And I hope you guys can support the show, obviously full-time for me. And the more you guys have been killing it with live donations. I mean, they've been insane. Some people, it's not, you don't want to hear it, you don't want to deal with that stuff. That's great. We're going to keep doing videos like this for you. So if you don't like the live shows with the donations and stuff like that, you're going to get these podcast formats where there's no interruptions. So I want to have something for everybody on this channel. So there you go. I'm also working on going back to what I used to do, which is after a live review, doing a 20-minute review on my own, where I break it all down, going from start to finish with my opinions on everything. That way you get a clear and concise kind of review from me. So if you couldn't sit through all the live calls, the donations, and the spastic sort of situation that goes on during our live reviews, you'll get a clear fucking review from me that you can sit down and listen to in the car, perhaps. So I am working on that as well. So then people will enjoy that perhaps more than the live format. But I know most of you guys love the live stuff. But then we'll get both of it. Most of you guys will like both, actually. So I think that will work well. I think it comes off better on the SmackDown reviews because there's less calls, less donations. So you get my kind of more clearer version of my review. Plus, yeah,
people only like to jump in. You don't hear people leave a nice review. They only leave reviews when they're angry. So that's why Raw has such a overflow of donations and live alerts, because people like to get their point across and explain to us how upset they were over the program. So
and that funds,
makes sense.
And to be honest, that funds the show. So I mean, you guys fund me and my family and the show and all that shit. So
and we get to hear what you have to say. It works out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all good. That we need that, to be honest. But if, especially if you are someone who doesn't do that, usually Patreon is the best place. I also want to thank John and Eric, who made private contributions to my donation page. They didn't want to really be recognized or go through those other channels where people take money. They wanted to make it a straight up donation, so they did. So if anybody out there is somebody who I know, I've had a few of you guys have actually emailed me about this, so that's why I'm bringing it up. If you want to email me, you don't have to email me. You go to joecronenshow.net, and the donation button is at the bottom, and I'm going to try to move it to the top, but it is at the bottom of the page on a desktop computer. It says donate, and you can donate there if you wanted something that you wanted to just send me there. A lot of people have mentioned they wanted to do it, but didn't want to be even acknowledged or recognized. It was weird. So for the people that asked me about that, that's where to go. And thank you to the people that already have. I mean, Jesus. But But the biggest help, again, would be patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Thank you. Thank you to Michael P., who just became a patron today, $5 a month. Thank you to Michael. Michael, you're my moo cow. Moo. That was really weird.
He's your new ship bum.
Can you tell we're trying to stretch this video out to make it an hour?
Hey, I got a few more things.
You got more wrestling?
I got more stuff, baby. I come jam-packed and full to the brim. I actually even have a follow-up to what we talked about before.
Why don't you give me the follow-up?
All right, look at this. It's been said that it's all unknown at this stage when Orton is expected to turn on the Eater of Worlds, but it is still said to happen, and that Bray Wyatt will be facing Randy Orton at WrestleMania still. There's only 6 episodes remaining until the actual main event takes place at WrestleMania. 6 episodes of SmackDown, that is. But even though Orton said that he wouldn't be challenging Bray for the title at the Citrus Bowl, that's just part of the storyline. And the plan is still on for them to face each other at WrestleMania. Sportskeeda is reporting
I would think
this.
so. Yeah, I mean, I would think so. They got to be facing each other.
So it's just going to be a storyline. And now that makes me even more intrigued, as I said before, to see where they go from here. So...
yeah, that is interesting.
He said he didn't want to face his, air quotes, master. And so how is that role going to flip and Bray no longer becomes the master? Is Bray going to release him and try and face him anyways? Is Randy going to snap and RKO him out of nowhere? Is something going to happen with Luke Harper in this Battle Royal? There's a lot of intriguing possibilities, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I am excited for this, to be honest. And real quick, to back up again, real quick on a point to my channel and to my show. I'm sure only the hardcores are still listening right now, so it works out even better. State of the WWE. This is State of the WWE 72. I'll be calling this State of the WWE 72. I'm going to be working on playlists a whole lot more on my channel. I'm going to go through the playlists and try to clean them up. And there's some videos on playlists that are appropriately wrong. They're not titled right. They're not the right video. So I'm going to try to clean up the playlists on there, and I will be trying to tweet them out and mentioning them to you guys going forward, because playlists are really important. You can binge watch stuff. So the playlists will be available on my main channel page. Within the next day and 2 days, you'll see that there'll be more of them, and they'll be more clear and concise. That way, if you guys are like, I want to listen to every State of the WWE ever, because it's just fun to listen to, well, then you'll be able to do it, and you'll be able to sit and just binge listen. Plus, I'll get revenue because more commercials will play. Hopefully, you don't block commercials, because obviously that hurts us. So if you can, maybe when you're watching my show, just throw them on there. I do it. When I'm at when I was at work and I only had 20 minutes, I would, I'd go on YouTube Red and I'd make sure that I couldn't have time for the commercials, or I'd skip the commercials or whatever. I would skip commercials on people. But when I'm at home, or if I'm playing video games and listening, or if I'm doing things like that, I let the ads play to give the content creator something, a couple cents.
Yeah, the only website I don't block with ad block is YouTube. And now I have YouTube Red anyway, so that people get, still a portion of proceeds going to them. So it's good all the way around. But yeah. YouTube Red is something to look into if you don't like ads. It really is a great service.
I've been loving it. I get nothing from it, though, so I hope nobody because nobody really uses it. So I hope people continue not to use it, because fuck it. It works out for me better if you don't use it. But I do love it. What else is there?
Final note here that I have is also from Sportskeeda, and Bleacher Report is saying that Finn Balor is likely to return for WrestleMania, but may not have an actual match. Again, there's only 6 editions of Monday Night Raw until WrestleMania, and it seems that Balor's return needs to be sooner rather than later if he's indeed going to defy the odds and have a match at WrestleMania. But they're hesitant about bringing it back too soon. They're afraid now, of him turning into the next Seth Rollins and re-injuring something. So they're really hesitant about bringing him back. And I don't blame them, Much like Rollins, they shouldn't rush Finn back just to prove that you can still have a go at things. But I'm afraid that's what they're doing with Seth anyways, with all the reports that Seth will be good to go for Mania. I have a feeling that if Seth does wrestle, he's going to end up needing more time off, because he'll either re-injure something or, won't be able to compete at the level we're used to. Yeah,
I would want them to definitely hang on as long as they could with him, just to have him come back on the night after WrestleMania. Just do
it. That's okay with Finn Balor coming back. If they don't have him face a Samoa Joe or have a decent match for him to be in anyways, then I really wouldn't rush it. Seth, I mean, they really built up him facing Triple H for, the better part of a year plus now. So it's hard for, that match to just be swept under the rug. But I'm worried about Seth coming back and re-injuring something. I mean, if he did do all that damage to his repaired knee, then, my God, it's hard to imagine he'll be ready to go in 8 weeks total.
Well, there you go, guys. I think I'm going to wrap it up at this point. If you guys want to buy the #Fact T-shirt, it's still available on Pro Wrestling Tees. Go check it out. ProWrestlingTees.com. Search the Joe Cronin area. I get credit for those T-shirt sales too as well. And Jake DeMarco at Countdown Ended on Twitter. I'm at Joe Cronin JCS. And I think I've said everything. My gaming channel, it's if you really want to see gaming content, I'm going to be putting stuff up on Spectrum Gaming 617. So that's youtube.com/Spectrum Gaming 617. And also, I guess if anything ever happens to this channel, that's where you can find me also. So make sure you just sub over there just in case. I don't upload much on there, but I've been putting more stuff up recently, and I'm sure I'll be putting more stuff up there as we go forward. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you can leave a like, share this video, and comment down below reacting to any of this stuff. I'll be trying to reply to your comments and at least messaging you. Also, do you guys like it when I heart your comments? I usually like to go through and heart everyone's comment that I read so they know I read it. I don't know if it's annoying if I do it too much or if you guys are like, cool, he saw what I read, what I wrote. Let me know if that's cool or if you don't like it. I'd be interested to know that maybe in the comments down below as well. That is just about everything. I think we covered it all.
Absolutely. It was a good episode.
Subscribe so you can get the weekly. This is State of the WWE. Happens at least once a week. Well, at least we're bringing that back, so it happens once a week. And tonight we'll be live for Out of Nowhere with JD from New York. It's going to be a big show tonight. Can't wait for that. And, of course, Thursday night I might do the TNA Impact review. And Friday night, Monetize This 99. This Friday night, it's going to be a slut fest on Friday night. And I will be the biggest slut in the room. And,
ooh, baby.
Baby, I want you there. My nose is stuffed right now. Thanks for listening. State of the WWE 72. And I will see you guys later tonight, actually, and see you next time. Oh, watch these videos. They're popping up right now. These other videos. Check these things out. Their playlists. Watch more. Watch more. Or click the subscribe button on the left, that little round picture of my face. You can actually click these. If you're on your cell phone, tablet, or your desktop computer, they're clickable right now. You can click on them. Do it. Hey guys, if you want to support the show, the best way is patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Hope you guys can go over there and become a patron today. I look forward to talking with all you guys. And thanks to Michelle and Sarah, who both chimed in with $2 a month. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Thank you so much.